it's scary. You know, they cut our veteran support almost completely last time they were in power, and I would hate to see that done to your country because you have so many more veterans than us that need genuine help.
We got another caller on the line. Two more. We got 647 area code. 647 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Guys, it is Quirky Geek Girl from Toronto.
Oh, hey! Quirky Geek Girl from Toronto. Appreciate your call. What's on your mind?
You're a Canadian fan. Well, honestly, one of your previous callers listening while on hold, I need to express some things.
Sure.
The pipelines are not indications of oil production. They are transportation methods for the oil. The cancellation of the pipelines puts more pressure on the rails, and that is why the railway employees have been going on strike after strike after strike for the last 15 years because the rails are getting longer and more unsafe. And I just have to get that off because I'm originally from Alberta. I know a lot of people that work in the oil industry, and pipelines are the safest way to move oil. It is one thing as a more progressive, liberal person, like, no, pipelines. But I'm really calling about your callers that keep saying that Trump's not going to privatize anything. I'm like, you are deluded. Just like what happened in Texas with the privatization of the electric grid and how disastrous that was. Trump is going to do as much as he can. And, you know, like, there's no more billionaires hiding in the background. Elon Musk on stage in a radio conversation, you know, saying we're going to fire union employees. Like, I do not understand people. And honestly, I'm more terrified that once they put in the cabinet that the billionaires choose, J.D. Vance and that cabinet are going to 25th Amendment Trump's ass, get him out, and J.D., who wrote the forewords to Project 2025, is going to be president. And that is a terrifying thought.
Certainly concerning. Absolutely.
Yes. Because it wouldn't take much. Because also, you know, he's old. He's losing his marbles. So they could absolutely justify within a year or two of getting rid of him. And then the man that was funded through his entire adult life by Peter Thiel is going to be the man in charge. And that is terrifying. I mean, the federal Canadian election is next year, and it is going to be as horrific as yours. And like walking to the plank, because the last time the Conservatives were in charge in Canada, it was a nightmare, especially since climate change has gotten worse. The biggest thing that they did was they silenced any government scientist from speaking to the press. So without permission. You could not contact anyone that received any kind of government funding who asked them questions about climate change without government approval. And the government didn't issue approval. And that is scary if they put in that kind of rules in the EPA or anything like that. Like, or they can only talk to Fox, something. So it's these insidious little rules that they can get away with without any oversight that you really, really need to watch out for, because the Canadian Conservatives were just as bad as the British when they were in power. And the only thing with like the Trump is that they are now allowed to say the quiet part out loud all they want. And it's scary because, you know, they cut our veterans support almost completely last time they were in power. And I would hate to see that done to your country, because you have honestly so many more veterans than us that need genuine help. And I'm really sorry that this is happening. I really enjoy your show. I got in through the Majority Report almost 7-8 months ago. And just, yeah, you're my casual Saturday morning-ish viewing while I just hang out and play video games. So keep up the good work. I really enjoy I really enjoy your full, solid reporting, not just in America, but in Spain and Europe and here and everywhere. And yeah, have a good one.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate your support.
Yep.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
We have another caller. This one from our territory, 256 area code. 256 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey man, this is Jacob Jones from chat and the area.
Jacob from the area.
Yeah.
What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
From North Alabama, but yeah. A few things on the caller that called a couple moments ago. Them blaming, trans people at the end of their screed is, to me, a clear indication of an argument lost when you start backing into that corner. Because I've never once in any of my confrontations as a union assistant VP have I ever had a confrontation with any trans person. They have all been business-minded boss people.
Yeah, you're telling me the people who are making the lives of your members worse are not trans people doing it because they're trans? That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's never happened, not once. I'm sure that many other union VP/stewards could say the same.
No doubt.
But additionally, if you look up at the makeup of both of these parties, because I want to be clear, I hate the Democrats, I abhor the Republicans. I particularly hate the Democrats after this election that they basically entirely threw the working class under the bus. They didn't talk about abortion once. They didn't talk about any issues that matter to working class people hardly at all. We got Kamala on stage with Dick Cheney, a war criminal, literally palling around with him and his daughter for months, saying that, we need to have the most lethal military in the world. It's like, we're spread all over the place. Don't we already? And I wouldn't classify that as a good thing. The destabilization and everything that we cause across the world, that leads to the immigration that everybody's mad about. The mass migration, immigration. I will clarify. Immigration itself is not a bad thing, but these mass migrant crises, we cause those with our imperial endeavors, and that's something that is not covered enough, I don't think. And so you look at the makeup of both of these parties, but particularly the Republican Party. I mean, they're both the same. It is really a one-party state where the singular party represents the interests of capitalists. But the Republican Party is really, Trump, longtime businessman, never been working class. You think that guy understands working class issues? Really? That's a joke. And his vice president, J.D. Vance, his entire book is about literally flipping the finger to the working class. Like, he hates and abhors real working class issues. The whole book is a character assassination of his mom, who's having addiction issues, because she lives in poverty. Like,
Right.
these people are demons. They're evil. They're not your friend. And to sit there and believe them and their lies, I can't parse it. I can understand that the Trump was being more honest in the moment and saying, you know, everything sucks. Agreed, everything does suck. Meanwhile, the Democrats were gaslighting us, saying, no, everything's great. What do you mean? Stocks are up. Everything's awesome. But prices are high and nothing's bringing them down. People generally feel pretty miserable right now. And to sit there for months on end and parrot neocon talking points, ignore working class issues, and say everything's fine, you're going to lose. That is a losing strategy. And I don't know how many folks out there like have, you know, been paying attention on that aspect, but to me, that all of those combination of things and the immediate backlash of the neocon and liberal groups in the Democrats to blame their progressive wing, their working class wing, that is just an indication that we need to abandon them entirely. And there needs to be as your guest said earlier, a serious discussion amongst our union leaders and amongst our unionists to leave them and put priority on having a better option for working class people that we can all get behind that cares about our issues. And I'll leave it there. You guys have a good day.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You know, I agree. I think that it's important to have an independent political vehicle for working class power. And, you know, interestingly, Jacob is a part of my union. I know him in real life. Our union was part of the effort to build a labor party in the 90s. You can check out our channel. I can't remember what the title of the video is, but talking about the U.S. Labor Party in the 90s with Mark Dudzik. A really interesting, I mean, there was a real serious effort by a lot of unions to build a labor party in the United States in the 90s. Obviously, it didn't work, but there are some lessons that we can learn from that, what to do and what not to do, I think. So, you know, check out our conversation with Mark Dudzik about it. No more calls today. Appreciate everybody taking the time to call in. I do want to spend, and we're not going to spend as much time on this as I had planned because we wanted to let folks call and hear what they had to say. But I want to make sure that we get to this. And also just one more thing on the calls, you know, somebody in the chat had said that, you know, they feel like, oh, you know, these are for sure like totally just Democrats. I think that is silly. I think that, you know, when we're talking about politics, we're going to have a certain perspective, but you are not going to find a show that brands itself as conservative, that talks about working class issues, where working class people are the authors of the stories that are being written, people interviewing workers who are on strike, people advocating for the striking workers. I mean, every single conservative program that talked about the longshore strike lambasted it. I don't know of a single conservative program that supported the longshore workers when they went on their strike. Right? There were a lot of libs that didn't like it either. But we supported it. And we support workers whenever they go on strike, and we support unions, and we talk to people involved in those struggles. You are not going to hear a conservative radio program talk to railroad workers about their contract negotiations. You'll hear that here. You are not going to hear conservative talk programs talk to government workers about the work that they do. We do that here. You're not going to hear any of that kind of stuff. We are very unique in particularly the audio space, I think. So whatever you do think about our politics, we are going to be continuing to talk about the post office and defending it from attacks, and we'll be talking to postal workers when those attacks, I think, inevitably come. And the people like Steven Crowder, that some people that are in our audience, at least right now, people like Steven Crowder are not going to talk about it. They're not going to defend the post office from attacks. And they won't talk to postal workers about it, but we will. So, you know, you can feel free to, and I do hope that people, you know, I mean, I'm a unionist in Alabama, right? I talk to people that don't agree with me all the time. And I have good relationships with people that don't agree with me about politics. And so, you know, hope that people can understand, can see the value from some of the other stuff that we're talking about.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.